Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I welcome all of you for this webinar on how to prepare history optional. This optional, history optional, acquired a new meaning in post 2013-14 scenario. So the relevance and importance of this optional is now totally different. It is more relevant and more important now due to its different components in preliminary examination and main examination, even in your general studies. So we have to consider this optional in the context of a new scenario post 2013-14 scenario. And in this scenario, in this context, if you are thinking about this optional, I would consider it as a right decision. You are going to take right decision. Great. So today in this presentation, I would like to tell you some important dimension of the importance of this history optional, and my presentation would be divided into two parts. Part 1 would be regarding some misconceptions of this optional, and second part I will try to tell you what is required. It is more relevant here, those who are thinking about this optional or those who have already taken this decision. There is a need to understand what is required, to, you can say, get success through this optional. So what is required? What is step 1? What is step 2? What is step 3? So we have to discuss those steps gradually. Is it all right? Now, when we say part 1, what I call some misconceptions regarding the history optional. First misconception is that many aspirants have this notion that history syllabus is vast and cannot be completed quickly as compared to other optional subjects. So first misconception about this optional is syllabus is vast, it is huge, difficult to cover, cannot be completed quickly. So why not take a, you can say, a short syllabus, optional? Why to go for this huge, you can say, history? But reality is different, and what we have to understand that at one glance the syllabus may seem vast, but once you realize how to study each topic according to the requirements of the exam, I repeat, you will see that it is not vast. Is it okay? So, reality is that it is not vast. Just try to understand it. Why I am saying it is not vast? Of course, it is a fact that we have detailed syllabus, right? Detailed syllabus, right? And therefore, it is vast. You have paper 1, you have paper 2, then in paper 1 you have section A, then section B, and in paper 1 you have total 24, not topics, chapters. Section A is ancient India, section B is medieval India, and in paper 1 you have 24 topics listed in your syllabus, detailed. In paper 2 also you have section A and section B, and section A and section B, section A is all about modern India and section B is all about world history, and in section A, right, modern India, and then you have 3 chapters, 3 last chapters related to post-independence, so modern and post-independence, and then section B you have world history, and in paper 2 they have mentioned around 27 chapters. Okay. So why you consider this as a huge syllabus, right? Huge, you can say a optional with huge syllabus, because elaborate syllabus, detailed syllabus is mentioned. In paper 1 they have mentioned 24 chapters, in paper 2 they have mentioned 27 chapters. But try to understand one thing. They have mentioned these chapters, but right, you will see that they have elaborated this chapter. Suppose, as I said, that there are 24 chapters in paper 1, they are mentioning different chapters. Suppose chapter 1, sources. Chapter 2, suppose like the prehistory. Suppose chapter 3, you have Indus Valley civilization. And in these chapters, they have mentioned some topics, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, right? Elaborate. Then prehistory also, they have mentioned some topics, different topics they have mentioned. In Indus Valley civilization also, they have mentioned some topics. What is the general impression? We do not concentrate on these syllabus. We feel that as we are preparing for this history optional, whatever is given in any book regarding Indus Valley civilization, it is required. If you choose this process, then it is difficult, it is boring. But when you will see the syllabus, even in the Indus Valley civilization, if you can see, they have mentioned origin of Indus Valley civilization, topic 1. Topic 2, they have mentioned, right, the date of this civilization. Topic 3, extent of this in the Indus Valley civilization. So they have mentioned 6-7 topics of this chapter. What we have to do? We have to prepare those topics, not everything regarding Indus Valley civilization. And if you have sufficient idea regarding these topics, you can easily divide these topics into some subtopics. You can easily divide this subtopic into different dimensions and different facets. I hope you are getting it. We can prepare it in a very scientific manner, and our preparation would be based on syllabus. Key words mentioned in syllabus. In paper 1, they have mentioned 24 chapters, and they have listed certain topics in those chapters. You will have to see. Suppose in the Gupta period, they have mentioned some topics. You have to prepare those topics. But what we generally do? we start reading a text, suppose I will recommend a book, suppose Upinder Singh, and you will think that no, I have to read Upinder Singh. It would be, directionless preparation, meaningless preparation. We will not reach anywhere. Ultimately, we will feel that we are not getting anything, and probably this book is not sufficient, or my approach is not good. So what I am trying to tell you, that there is a syllabus given, there are chapters given, there are topics given. You have to prepare those topics, and when you read one standard text on that topic, you have to divide that topic into different subtopics. When you will see last year question, it will help you in dividing those topics. Suppose Ashoka's Dhamma, in Mauryan Empire they have mentioned suppose Ashoka's Dhamma. Then when you will start reading Ashoka's Dhamma, you will have to divide Ashoka's Dhamma into different subtopics. What would be the basis of that? Basis number 1 would be whatever you are reading from the text. Basis number 2 would be last year question they have asked on Ashoka's Dhamma, and then you will try to think over those subtopics. If required, you can divide those subtopics into different dimensions. You can divide those different dimensions into different facets. So this kind of strategy, this kind of preparation, when we will do, you will realize that they are asking direct question from those topics mentioned in the syllabus. I hope you are getting it. What I said, one misconception about this optional is that the syllabus is huge, vast syllabus, but it is blessing in disguise. They have mentioned all those topics. Even if you are a history graduate, don't think that you know all those dimensions of Indus Valley civilization. No, forget your dimension, what you prepared in your first year or first semester. Think about what is given in the syllabus topics. Organize your ideas or your notes according to the demand of the syllabus, demand of the question asked. That would be a proper organization. Are you getting it? So, myth is that the syllabus is vast, but the reality is syllabus is vast, but it is detailed. It is explained very properly. It is organized very properly. And second thing I am adding, that they are asking sometime direct question from those topics mentioned in the syllabus. I want to give you some example, then only it would be a relevant discussion. Suppose there is a, you can say in paper 1, in topic 18, chapter 18, say chapter 18, they have mentioned a topic called Kashmir, and in Kashmir in bracket they have mentioned, right, Jainul Abidin. This is the syllabus. Topic, you can say mentioned in chapter 18 of the paper 1. Last year, 2019, there was a question was, right, assess the rule of Jainul Abidin in Kashmir. Simple question, assess the rule of Jainul Abidin in Kashmir. Now you tell me, should we consider this as a direct question from the syllabus or not? Those who have prepared this properly, they can write down everything, whatever is given in our text, and then the part 2 would be, you have to assess contribution. How? You can call him as Akbar of Kashmir, Jainul Abidin. So direct question, right, from the, you can say syllabus, direct question from the topics mentioned in the syllabus. Suppose, second example, in your syllabus in paper 1 only, in chapter number 17, they have mentioned agriculture in 13th and 14th century. They have mentioned, you will see that, agriculture in 13th and 14th century. So in 2019, there was a direct question from this statement, this sentence mentioned in the syllabus, that delineate the state of agriculture during, you can say, the Sultanate period, so 13th, 14th century. So if you have a notes regarding the development of agriculture in Sultanate period, you can just reproduce, and believe me, you can get more than 65–70% marks. This kind of question, right, can give you more than 70% marks. I hope you are getting it. So syllabus is detailed, syllabus is used, but it is advantageous. It is helpful. I hope you are getting my point, right? Now, suppose one more topic example we can discuss. Suppose in paper 2, chapter 5, detailed syllabus, and they have mentioned a topic in chapter 5 in paper 2, right? In paper 2 they have mentioned, right, directly they have mentioned introduction of Western education, activities of the Christian missionaries. This topic is mentioned directly. In 2019, this year, last year now, they have asked a question, examine the forces at work for the introduction of Western education in India and analyze the thrust given to it by the Christian missionaries. Now you tell me, it is direct question from the topics mentioned in the syllabus or not? They are now asking many questions which are now cannot be called from the core areas, so-called core areas, because we generally prepare those popular areas. They are asking questions from those peripheral areas which we generally ignore, but they are mentioned in the syllabus, and preparation is becoming difficult. Are you getting it? And good thing about these less known area is, when you will attempt these questions, you will get more marks. You will get more marks. I hope you are getting it. So you will get more marks. So this is the good thing about this kind of less known topics, right? Suppose in paper 1, if you can say one, you can take one example. There is a mention. They have mentioned the literature in the Mughal India. They have mentioned all literature in Mughal India. And question they are asking in 2018, discuss the literature written in Hindi in Mughal India. It is a difficult question, agreed. But they have mentioned in the syllabus, when you prepare this syllabus properly, all those keywords mentioned in the syllabus properly, these questions would be easy question to handle. Easy question to handle. You need 4–5 points, 2–3 facts, you can handle it. In paper 2, in the post-independence, we generally prepare, even you ask what kind of book we should read, Ramchandra Guha, Bipin Chandra. Whatever you are reading, you should read in the context of the syllabus, right? I mentioned topics mentioned in your syllabus. And in your post-independence, you will see in paper 2, they have mentioned in the syllabus, right? You will see that they have mentioned in the syllabus in post-independence, right? All those topic, and one topic is mentioned Dalit movements in post-independence. And in 2018, question was, analyze various trends in Dalit movements in various parts of post-independent India. Direct. When you prepare those subtopics mentioned, it would be easy to handle those so-called tough questions, complicated questions. I am not talking about some popular areas. I am talking about those areas which we generally ignore. And we feel that history is becoming difficult. They are asking, right, those questions which we generally ignore. No, they have mentioned this in the syllabus, and therefore they are asking. I hope this is okay. And what I was trying to tell you, certain misconception about history optional, and one misconception is all your teachers, all your experts, all your seniors will tell you that huge syllabus. I try to explain it, how this huge syllabus is blessing in disguise. It is advantageous, it is helpful, because we can organize our preparation very properly according to the need of the examination. Then I explain this in the context of some question. And please remember, even if this is detailed, syllabus is huge, we have to prepare we have to prepare all those components of your optional for your general studies. Suppose you are not taking history optional, but can you ignore world history from 18th century? Can you ignore? If they are asking Malaya in decolonization, right, you can say in general studies, they are also asking Malaya in optional. If they are asking mercantilism in general studies, they are also asking mercantilism in history optional. If they are asking enlightenment, the ideas of enlightenment in general studies, they are also asking it in world history. So, even if the syllabus is detailed, you need to prepare this for your general studies. How can you ignore? Suppose your optional is different. You have to read world history. You have to read modern India. You have to read culture. What is the difference? Have you seen the level of the question asked in general studies? They are asking question on Sangam age. In general studies, they are asking question on Krishna Dev Raya. In general studies, they are asking question on rock painting. In general studies, they are asking question on coins. In general studies, those topics we have to prepare in your optional. So, when you prepare those detailed syllabus, it would be helpful, it would be very helpful in your general studies. You can save your time, right? So, this myth that this syllabus is huge, right, is not correct actually. We have to prepare those areas, and sometime when you prepare those areas, you will feel that half of your job in general studies is done. Even in the preliminary examination, when your history is prepared and your current affairs is prepared, believe me, you can qualify history without any problem. The major section, history, 20 around question, and then the current affairs, right, you can qualify properly. And then if you can prepare polity and geography also, so that's good. I hope you're getting it. So it would be advantageous for us. Anyhow, this is one part, certain misconceptions about history, right? One misconception is that it is, right, it is called, you can say it has huge syllabus. Second misconception about this history is it is not scoring. It is not scoring, right? But try to understand it. This kind of notion, this kind of idea, this kind of argument, right, was probably relevant before 2013, but it is not relevant now. People, they are scoring, the candidates are scoring 300 plus. It is a safe optional. There would not be a fluctuation. If you will prepare it properly, that fluctuation would be less. You can rely, right? So, even if of course not scoring, then the score would be decent. And it is now becoming scoring. 300 plus is possible after 2013. Why 300 plus is possible now? So, mainly because of, it is all about map based question. This is the key. All your successful candidates will tell you, it is all about map based question. Now, they are asking short question even in history optional, right? 10 marks, 15 marks, 20 marks. So, it is easy to get marks, like you can say other options. So, you can score better in history also, and your map based question is a game changer. If you have prepared your map very properly, it would not be difficult to, you can say, get 300 plus map based. But our approach in preparing map is what? Not, you can say, our preparation is not very serious preparation regarding map. We generally ignore map. But maps should be prepared based on what? Reference line approach. We have to divide India's map into different blocks. We are dividing this map into around 30-31 blocks. We will place certain important sites in one block, and then we will practice it. Theme-based preparation, temple sites, trade centers, inscription-related sites, right? All those Neolithic sites, Paleolithic sites, So theme based preparation, dividing it into different block based on the reference line concept, will mark some reference line, we will practice it properly. You will see that out of 20 sites, 17, 18 can be easily managed. 2, 3 also we can guess. So it is map based, and map is the key. If you can score better in map, it is scoring. If you cannot score in map, it is not scoring. Because in most of the question, average marks can be, you can say you can get, but map can give you, you can say, and then some question, some straightforward question, of course, can give you better marks. So it is now scoring. It would not be difficult to handle. Are you getting it? So syllabus is vast, but we can manage. It is now becoming scoring after 2013, and the greatest advantage of history optional is that once you prepare it, most of the burden from your general studies is over. You can concentrate more on different aspect of your general studies. Then the third, some students, they say that it needs cramming, it's all about dates, right? It is all about crude facts. No, you will realize that, no, it is very organized, and you can say the pattern of the exam changed. Reality is now different. Now try to understand. Now the new trend. Now the pattern is now changed. Now they are not asking question from those factual area. Now they are asking question from those multiple dimensions such as economic, social life, cultural development, scientific advancement, status of women, right? Life of the ordinary people. So now you will see that it is not, difficult, and it is not required to remember those dates, to remember those crude facts. You can easily see the development, and you can remember it, right? It is not all about fact. It is a simple subject. You don't need theory. You don't need theory. There is no need of structuralism, functionalism, or any ism. Right, there are simple ism in history like capitalism and socialism, right, communism, and it is not very difficult to understand, right? So we don't have theories like different optional, and we have simple, you can say, story, narration. So it's a simple subject, and as I indicated, it is a static subject. Whatever new dimension we have to add, so it will, suppose you are quoting a historian of 1980s, so your answer is updated. So you don't need to mention something related to 2019. If you are quoting a historian or a book related to 1980 or 1990, so your answer is updated. So it's a static subject in that sense. And there are good chances of questions repeating again or similar question being asked, right? There's a good chance. They are now repeating question. You will see that your senior will tell you. If you prepare last 20 years question, right, most of the question would be same. Probably some language, some, you can say, new language would be there. So there is a possibility that when you will appear, right, more than 50% question would be repeated, themes repeated. So it's a static subject. It's not about, you can say, the crude facts. It's not boring, and we can easily handle this, right, optional. Now, next part, this is what I had to tell you about the misconception. It is general thing, most of your history teachers will tell you, even I had to repeat. But now I am going to tell you what is required when you have decided to go for this optional, what is required, how to go about it, how to prepare. Step 1 is how to prepare. Step 1 is, right, right reading. Start with right reading, right, right reading. You need some basic reading for this option. Don't jump to the question or syllabus. Start with basic reading, and you would not believe that you can start with ancient India from class 6, old NCERT, Romila Thapar, all your well-wisher, brothers, seniors, sisters, they will tell you the reality. You can start your ancient India from class 6th NCERT, Romila Thapar, old NCERT. Go for it. 6-7 days, read it properly without worrying about the, you can say you have optional or what kind of question they are asking. Start your preparation. If you are a fresher, even if you are a science graduate, charter accountant, don't worry. You will get a very good outline of ancient India from this book. It is tested book. We all use this style, this approach successfully, right? So, you can start with some basic reading. So, step 1 is, you should not start with some text which is, right, very complicated, probably very relevant but very complicated. You will not generate interest, and when you don't generate interest, how can you work on these topics? I hope you are getting it. You have to generate interest, and to generate interest, you have to start with a decent book, very good book. And ancient India, the best reading would be class 6th old NCERT, Romila Thapar. Then for medieval India and modern India also, you can go for class 7 and class 8. Within 1 week you can finish. You can read it very properly, you will get an outline, you will get the good foundation. This is required. Coaching, no coaching, right? I am not here going to tell you that there is no need of any basic reading and join this coaching or that coaching, right? Or me, right? It would be over. No, even like you can say, even if you will join me, I will tell you to go for this basic reading. Start your preparation with this basic reading. If you have history in your graduation, and you have already done it, then no problem, your decision. I would suggest those who have history optional also, they can also join, they can also read, right? They think that, they are prepared, but they are not organized, graduation preparation, right? Of course, you would be exposed to those ideas, but your preparation would not be organized. So, organize your preparation. So, step 1 I would suggest is reading the right book, reading the right material, and the right material would be, right, probably those, right, who have the idea, they will appreciate class 6, 7th, 8th, 9th, right, you can say you can easily read. Then step 2 would be, step 2 for this preparation would be right focus, right focus. What is the right focus? After going for all those NCERT reading, what should be your focus? Now, you can see questions asked in UPSC, right? You can see syllabus, keywords mentioned in the syllabus very properly. You can see the syllabus, you can see last year question, right? And you can refer to now some text, some relevant text you can refer, right? Once you have idea about the basic outline of the story, and you have idea that what kind of question they are asking and what kind of keywords they have mentioned in the syllabus, you can use your text. Suppose for modern India, you started reading Bipin Chandra. Just try to understand this. Without knowing what kind of question they have asked in freedom movement, without knowing what exactly is mentioned in the syllabus, without knowing, how you will use this Bipin Chandra? How you will realize that these chapters you should focus? Your preparation would be directionless. You would not utilize this book. Once you have basic idea of the national movement from NCERT, one requirement. Second, you know what is mentioned in your UPSC optional syllabus, keywords. Third, you know what kind of question they are asking in freedom movement. Suppose non-cooperation movement, what kind of question they are asking? Suppose Quit India movement, they are asking it was spontaneous or not. And when you will read Bipin Chandra, you will get answer of that question right, you will start appreciating this book. Are you getting my point? Basic outline of the story, knowing about those trends of the question. Third, knowing about the keywords mentioned in the syllabus. And then start reading right text. Suppose for modern India, right text would be Bipin Chandra, Shekhar Bandhopadhyay. These two are the right text. We cannot ignore it. If I will not recommend Bipin Chandra and Shekhar Bandhopadhyay, it would not be an honest approach. But to use this Bipin Chandra and Shekhar Bandhopadhyay, you need to understand what all words mentioned in your syllabus and what kind of question they are asking. You will start getting answers to those questions. And then the real punch will come, real spirit will come, real energy will come. Are you getting it? Suppose for world history, what would be the right text? Right text, right, would be one very popular book, right, called Norman Law. Norman Law. Mastering World History. And before that, right, so they are giving you a story from the World War, right, 19th century, 20th century story. But before that, some revolutions are there, so you can go for NCERT Arjun Dev, right, you can go for, right, you can say even those who have purchased Jain and Mathur, you can go for it. But it's not about cover to cover reading. What is the general impression? As a fresher, you don't have any guidance. Even I used to think, suppose one topper suggested Jain and Mathur, as an honest student, you will start reading it cover to cover. No, not required. You should know what kind of topics mentioned in the syllabus. You should know what kind of question they are asking. And when you refer to that text, Norman Law or Jain and Mathur or L. Mukherjee, you can use that textbook for your examination. I am again repeating, for your examination. If you will not do this, it would be difficult for you to prepare this kind of optional. If you will do it, it would not, you can say, be a burden for you. So I mentioned some right text after NCERT related to modern India, Bipin Chandra, Shekhar Bandhopadhyay. There are some chapters of Grover, B.L. Grover. We generally recommend that, but not entire book, some chapters. Then, even in world history, I said Jain and Mathur will give you a very good idea about the syllabus, but it is scattered. Right, it will be difficult to manage. Then Norman Lowe, it will give you a very good idea about all those new topics, right, particularly after Cold War or Cold War related. So Norman Lowe would be a very good book. So you can use it. For ancient India, you have to refer to Upinder Singh. You cannot ignore this book. But if you have good idea about the outline, Upinder Singh you can use, you can refer to. When you will start reading Upinder Singh, it will be difficult. Believe me, it will be difficult. So there is a need to understand why I am reading this book, what I am searching, right? When you know question, when you know syllabus, you will search the right thing and your preparation would be organized. I hope it is okay. In ancient India, you can go for a brief reading of D.N. Jha, an outline, or Upinder Singh I recommended. In medieval India, Satish Chandra, 2 volumes, it's a best book available. Class 12th NCERT, Satish Chandra also you can read. And then of course, for some economic dimension, technological dimension, literature, art, architecture, we have to read some IGNO booklet, MA booklet. And they have given you a ready-made notes, you can prepare those notes. Once you finish ancient, medieval, modern, world history, topic-wise, using these reference material with a good foundation of NCERT reading, Believe me, it is not that difficult. Are you getting it? So you will see that the new approach, new focus is required, right focus is required. And when you focus right in your text, right thing, you will get right material, minimum material, organized material. You should analyze last year question. Suppose they are asking in paper 1 many questions now related to sources. They are now asking, you will see that in ancient India, medieval India, they are asking questions related to literary source, foreign travelers, right? They are asking archaeological source, comparison, right? 2019 also they have asked, there are no literary source for the Harappan culture and no archaeological evidence for the Vedic period, explain. 2018 they have asked, how did the early Indian historical tradition as reflected in the Itihas Purana emerged? So when you know that they are asking questions from sources, what all are the keywords? I used a keyword, I said Itihas Puran tradition. Now you can inquire. You can inquire, what is this? What is this Itihas Puran tradition? And when you will start inquiring, you will come to know that why they ask this question. Because there is a context. What is the context? Context is some historian, particularly the contemporary historian of 12th century, including Al-Biruni, questioned. What he questioned? Historical sense of early Indians, ancient India. Al-Biruni said that the ancient Indian people, they had no historical sense. Al-Biruni said, or some other foreign traveler said, foreign historian, imperial historian said, that there was a poverty of historical knowledge in ancient India. Poverty. There was no historical sense. But modern historians, they say that there was no dearth of historical works in ancient India. And in that context, they talked about a tradition called Itihas Purana tradition or Vedic tradition or Buddhist Jaina tradition of history writing. So there is a tradition, Itihas Purana tradition. We are getting the evidence of Itihas Purana tradition in our literature, in our Vedic literature. We have idea about different material. Suppose Yaksha talked about Itihas Purana, Satpat Brahmana talked about Itihas Purana, Taittiriya Aranyaka talked about Itihas Purana, Chandogya Upanishad also talked about Itihas Purana. And they are giving you how the ancient people, ancient Indian people had some sense of Itihas and Purana. And even Kalhan, who is considered as the first modern historian, appreciated this Itihas Purana tradition. So, ancient Indian historical tradition cannot be put aside as wholly unworthy of credence. You cannot ignore this tradition of history writing in ancient India. So they have asked question. Are you getting it? So once you know that they are asking this kind of question, you will start inquiring. And when you will start inquiring, you will get the right idea. When you will analyze last year question, you will come to know that there is a shift away from political history. Now they are asking more questions from social history, economic history, cultural history. Last 3-4 years, you will see that. They are quoting even Padma Purana and they are asking, discuss the emergence of Bhakti in Dravida Desh. When you will see a question, you will realize that, right, it is difficult. But no, it is not at all difficult. We generally read about those Alavar and Nayanars. Even in your NCERT, you have enough material to handle this kind of question. So when you know the trend, your focus would be different. You will come to know that there are now asking questions on literature, painting, architecture, right, the economic condition, and now they are not asking question on political development. So we should focus these areas. So you will come to know. When you will analyze question, you will realize that now different interpretation of historians being asked almost directly. And if you don't have idea about the different views of historian, they will catch you. Suppose in 2018, they asked a question, do you agree with the popular view that the Mauryas established a unitary and highly centralized, if not monolithic state system? When they are asking this, do you agree, they want to know whether you know the debate regarding the nature of Mauryan state. So there is a debate among historians regarding the nature of Mauryan state. We must know what is the Arthashastra model of Mauryan state. We must know what Romila Thapar said about Mauryan state, his centralizing model or decentralizing model, whether when she revisited his her approach. And then we must know, right, 1987, right, thesis of Fussman, Fussman. So when you know historical writing, historical development, historical debate, it is easy to handle. They are asking now. And when you don't have this kind of idea, you are still dependent on those old material and old approach, you will face problem. Suppose they have asked question in 2018 only, reflect upon the nature of local self-government institution in Chola country. Local self-government institution in Chola country, again it is debatable. There is a centralization model of Nilkant Sastri. There is a segmentary state model of Bottenstein. There is a Uttara Merur inscription. Even in your new NCRT, you will see Uttara Merur inscription of Parantaka they have referred to. When you have those ideas, it is not very difficult to manage this question. So it is based on new evidence. Suppose, like in 2019, they have asked question on the decline of the Mughals. They will give you one theory and they will ask, do you agree with this view? Those who have history as a background, they must be knowing that how different historians have different views regarding the decline of the Mauryas. Initially, the personality factor, Aurangzeb was responsible, Jadunath Sarkar or his successors were responsible. Then institutional factors, Athar Ali, Satish Chandra, different historians talked about Jagirdari crisis, Mansabdari crisis, right, peasant uprising. And then there is a revisionist view. In your Shekhar Bandyopadhyay, you will see this revisionist view. So when you have those approach, you can use those approach in an organized manner, and it's a matter of 5-10 minutes. It will give you a good idea, right, about this debate. So there is a need to appreciate this debate. In 2017, they asked a very popular question, critically examine various views regarding the Vedic Harappan relationship in light of the latest discoveries. Why they have asked this question? Because it was in news. Genetic finding made during the 2015 excavation at Rakhigarhi, Haryana. Vedic Harappan link. There is a very popular book, Tony Joseph's book, Early Indians, whether he talked about fundamental discontinuity between two cultures. Then there is a study of Jim Saffer in 1990s, where he talked about Indus Valley tradition. He talked about regionalization area, integration area, localization area. So these people, these experts talked about the link between Vedic and Harappan culture. So once you have a good idea, decent idea, it is not very difficult to use these new analysis. Suppose paper 2, like in paper 2 also you will see, right, some new trend, you have to understand it. When you don't understand this, your focus would be different. Your focus would be 1857 revolt, but now they are asking question on Rangpur revolt. They will ask question on Rangpur revolt. They will ask question on different, you can say, revolt like the Munda revolt or Santhal revolt. Subaltern history, now they are dominating in history writing. So when you know your focus, and who will tell you what exactly should be your focus? Your syllabus and last year question. You will see that in modern India now and in world history now, they are asking questions from peripheral topics which we generally ignore. One example, probably last year only 2019, they asked a question, how far was the widow remarriage movement effective in arousing social concern for Indian women? They are asking the success of widow remarriage movement. Simple question. Suppose you have prepared this topic from Spectrum or Bipin Chandra or your old coaching notes. You cannot handle this. Try to understand it. They are not asking question regarding the role of Raja Ram Mohan Roy or Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar regarding widow remarriage movement. No. They are asking whether this widow remarriage movement was successful. It's a difficult question. But when you read some recent book including Bandyopadhyay, this is not difficult question. Because they are talking about Lucy Carroll. And Lucy Carroll argued that this legislation called Hindu Widow Remarriage Act 1856, right? This legislation was intrinsically conservative in character. So there is a point of view of Lucy Carroll. You would not be aware if you have not gone through this, right? You can say this book, and for you this question would be difficult, believe me. Suppose there is a view of Ashok Sen. Ashok Sen said, he is the biographer of Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, and Ashok Sen said that this movement, widow remarriage movement, ended in what he called unavoidable defeat. So if you have not gone through this book, not Ashok Sen's book, you cannot go for Lucy Carroll's book or Ashok Sen's book. These you can say arguments you will see in your recent text, Bandyopadhyay or some new text, IGNOU material, and they are asking question related to it. So even 2019 question on widow remarriage, it would be difficult for you if you had not gone through this, right, new material. And if you have gone through it, it is easy. They are giving you example how this widow remarriage movement not successful in Bengal, not successful in Telugu areas, Telugu speaking areas, not successful in, you can say, right, in Maharashtra. They are giving you example of Pandit Ramabai. So you can handle this question very properly. I hope you are getting it. So your focus, if you don't have this focus, right, then it is difficult. Peripheral areas they are asking question. They have asked question in 2019 from coal uprising, very simple question. But if you have not prepared coal uprising, why they have asked coal uprising? Because they have mentioned coal uprising in your syllabus. It's not that they are asking any tribal revolt. They have mentioned it. Suppose Malabar, you can say Mapila is in news. They can ask you when you will write your mail, suppose next year. Are you getting it? Even in world history, they are asking peripheral question from Malaya. What factors would you attribute to the British colonial intervention in Malaya? What was the response of Malaya? When you don't have idea, you don't have right material, this question is very typical. But we have to understand Malaya's colonial movement in the context of 19th century imperialism. There was some resource available there, tin or rubber, and they were looking for it. Different pattern you have in the anti-colonial struggle. When you prepare those anti-colonial struggle, different pattern in world history, you will get one pattern. It was related to Malaya. So these are not very typical questions. Then they have asked question in 2019, how would you explain the nature of pre-Marxian socialism? Generally, we focus on Marxian socialism. You must be knowing scientific socialism. but they asked question, how would you explain the nature of pre-Marxian socialism? How you will attempt? We can write how it was the product of the intellectual heritage of enlightenment. We can talk about what they called utopian socialist. We can talk about Charles Fourier. We can talk about Saint-Simon. We can talk about, you can say, Robert Owen. So when you prepare the development of socialism, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, these questions are not difficult to handle. Suppose last year they asked a question, outline the circumstances leading to the adoption of Marshall Plan. Probably that this question will give you an idea that they are asking anything. No, Marshall Plan is a very popular plan. Ask any good history student, they will tell you. Marshall Plan in 1947, it was a part of that Cold War era. Marshall Plan, European Recovery Plan. And when you prepare Marshall Plan, you must know how the Cold War developed. Bolshevik Revolution, Yalta Conference, Fulton Speech, Truman Doctrine, and then the economic dimension, Marshall Plan. So when you know the development, it is easy and you can easily catch those questions. In paper 2, I told you that they are asking some question from peripheral areas. They are asking question from some statement. Have you seen that? It's a great challenge. A statement based question. It's a great challenge. They are giving you one statement. They are asking you to examine it critically. But believe me, it can be handled because it's a static subject. Prepare last 25-year question. Prepare all those statements related to Ranjit Singh, related to Tipu Sultan, related to Treaty of Salbai, related to Treaty of Basin, related to Wood's Dispatch. You will get exact same sentence in your answer, in your question. So it is not that difficult even in world history, even in modern India. Last 25-year question, you can say, when you will see that, you can prepare those, it will take around 10 days, we can reproduce that. So it can be handled very properly. So I was talking about the steps, what is required to tackle this examination. I said, step 1 is, you should start with right reading NCERT. Step 2 is, you must know what should be your focus. And for that I suggested that how you can see last year question, how you can see syllabus, keywords mentioned in the syllabus. And then you can analyze whenever you are reading your text, ancient, medieval, modern or world history, you can highlight those areas, those dimension. Okay, they have asked this kind of question. So this treaty can be asked. This personality can be asked. Narayan Guru they are asking. Henry Vivian Desrosiers they are asking. You will come to know that these personality can be prepared very properly. Are you getting it? So we can prepare it very properly. Then the next, you can say, step is, after organizing your preparation, next step is proper revision. Believe me, if you will not revise properly, all these organized approach would be of no use. So in history, we need revision, proper revision also. So when you have organized your approach, you have prepared your notes, revise it properly, and then after revision, you can start practicing it through test series or through, you can see your own, you can show your answers to your seniors, teachers. It will give you, you can say, confidence. So revision and then proper practice is required. And when you do everything, it would be easy for us to handle this optional. Believe me, this optional is becoming a very good optional now, because you have most of the dimension of your history optional in general studies. It will help you in managing your prelims without any problem. because you can give more time to different areas including current areas. So this decision would be a right decision, and we are trying to make this optional, right, more easy to handle, right, in our ALS, right. So this is what I have to say briefly. Any question if you want to ask, you can ask so that I can explain that. Right, any question? Anything you have to ask? Probably I'm not getting right those questions. Yes, any question you want to ask, because I don't want to repeat what I already said. I don't want to explain also unnecessarily. Right, so then it's all right, because I'm not probably getting those questions, right. So thanks a lot for watching, and right, hope it would be a useful discussion, and you will start preparing on these lines, right. Okay, so thanks a lot.